Moving on. All right.
All right. Now that we've whet our appetite, now we've had a little bit of foreplay. Now we're gonna get into Audioface debates. So we have best indie album.
Let's do it. Best indie. So we have Ants Up From There by...
Ants From Up There. Damn it.
Ants From Up There.
You said Ants Up From There.
Oh, well, same idea. Ants
No.
From Up There, not down there, by Black Country New Road. Decide by Joe. Skinty Fia by Fontaines D.C, if I can speak. Wet Leg, self-titled Wet Leg. Ugly Season by Perfume Genius. Big Time by Angel Olsen. And In the Darkness, Hearts Aglow by Weyes. So the thing with indie album, what we decided, like with categories and lists and shit, was he said, if an artist has been established for a while, like Amitsky, 1975, we move those to like alternative / alternative rock, because it just, or else we would have a 40-page indie list.
Yeah, then we'd have to break out the board again, the big board.
The big board, and we don't want to do this.
Yeah, that's a lot of editing for me, so we don't want to do
exactly.
that. So
that's only on special occasions.
Yeah.
So we
that's
split
one
it
of those. In the words of Hard K nominee, they don't make them like this anymore. So. Yeah, with this one, this is really for the newer artists in the game to shine and really get their effort here. And you'll have some who have definitely like done some work here, who have like been around, but like I think this is a really good time for all of them. And this was a phenomenal year for indie. That being said, you also saw a little bit of an apex for indie, I would say, because you saw, and we talked about this, there was the Rex Orange County-fication of indie music, where it all started to sound like one thing. It was starting to not really, escape itself too badly. And thankfully you got even some of the like worst offenders of that, not the worst offenders, but the indie staples who definitely it was time for them to change their sound a little bit. Toro y Moi to Biba Doobie, they come to mind. While they didn't get nominations for their awards, I think those are really good at changing their sound and showing depth on those.
Yeah, 100%,
for sure.
100%.
These were just above and beyond exemplary. This is one of the harder ones to talk about. Harder ones to narrow down. What are your thoughts?
Fuck. Just all of these records are great. There's a couple I've listened to a lot. But to me, for like the best indie record, I would give it to Wet Leg, self-titled.
That's really solid.
I think it's a record that I've listened to a lot. It's gotten like universal acclaim.
Can I curveball you a little bit?
Yeah,
because I'm in between two of them.
Yeah, go ahead.
Wet Leg and Black Country New Road.
Black Country New Road for me would be the runner-up. It's a really good record. I just like Wet Legs a little bit more. That's it. Because to me, with Ants From Up There, the pacing could be a little slow at times, but overall, it's an amazing project.
They're different albums for sure. Like Wet Leg is a much more fast-paced album, but welcome to Audioface. It's definitely in years 1, 2, maybe even 4 of the podcast. I have the bias towards the faster things, but maybe like I love as we coined it in a couple episodes, the chaos rock element of Black Country New Road. I love the fact that the frontman, the vocalist, this is not part of the band anymore. Like this is a chaotic thing. This is a flash in the pan sort of band. And like, I don't mean not to say that this is a one-trick pony. I mean, this is to say like they have a couple years to prove that out and see if they can follow this up with their continued effort. It's a large group and they're doing a lot there, but it is one of those it's just one of those moments where I think it is kind of legendary from this year. Wet Leg kind of owned it, and I think they're really good, and that's why we nominate them for a number of different other categories here. More on that later. But I think just when I think of the spirit of indie, Wet Leg kills it in a way that's pretty pop adjacent and understandable. But Black Country New Road does it in a way that's the different flavors of indie. This is the kind of out there and from up there kind of form of indie that is, we definitely got to give some credit for it. I'd say for Wet Leg, it's nice, but it's very poppy. It's not as explorative as I would love to see in a typical indie project, but it is very cohesive and it does well with its time. And I would flip either or, runner up or winner.
Do you want to give it to both? Do you want to tie it?
Sure.
That's allowed. I would allow that. I'll allow that. So tie.
Tie.
It's good.
We have best indie album of 2022. We are tying it. Ants from Up There by Black Country New Road and Wet Leg self-titled.
Yeah.
Just to give a shout out to everything else. Ants in the Darkness, Hearts Aglow by Weyes Blood. That was a later edition, a core packing pick, and just has an amazing voice. Good similarly, like that is an indie record. It is experimental and it's very good. Angel Olsen, Big's Time, as I kind of talked about in the core packing episode and some other previous parts of like earlier in the year, like in June, July when it came out. Like it's probably like the leading Americana folk project out there right now, I would say, that I'd recommend to most people. Just really well executed. Perfume Genius Ugly Season. I'd love you to speak to that or speak to the other ones too.
It's just with Ugly Season, it's such a pivot for Perfume Genius. It's a very experimental record from him, and it's an amazing project where it's one of those where somebody takes a gamble and tries something different and it fits. It's a really good concept record. It's amazing with the sounds that he was able to create and changes the way that he likes to make stuff, which is awesome. Then you have Decide by Joe, which I absolutely love that record. I listen to it a lot. It's again that more kind of experimental indie with Joe kind of likes to go around and try different sounds with every record, and this record to me is his best by far. And then Skinty Fia is a fantastic record too, where I want to say more traditional indie, but not as experimental as the other ones, but still a great record nonetheless. So all of these records are fantastic, and it's a very strong year from indie, which is what we wanted, and I kind of thought would be this year. So
yeah, it definitely happened, and I had my, I said what I said about indie and like how it feels like it's starting to plateau, but I think the theme of this year, one of the many themes of this year, is that if you really look hard enough, and this podcast helps with that for sure.
Yeah.
There is good stuff out there and there's unique stuff out there. You just have to like make sure you're watching.
Oh, for sure.